Today on Match Play.
Host Ray Adams goes head-to-head with LPGA professional Cheyenne Woods.
Hit it, hit it.
Welcome to the show today. I'm at the beautiful Weston Kierland Resort and Golf Club at the Women's Golf Expo, and I have the most special guest, and it's been a while since I've been trying to meet with her, but we have Miss Cheyenne Woods. Thank you so much for being with me, Cheyenne, on Match Play today.
It's awesome to be here.
I know it's great, isn't it?
Yes.
Well, everybody knows that you come from a very famous family, but what a lot of people don't know about is that Cheyenne Woods was born and raised right here in Phoenix, Arizona, and you live right here in Phoenix, Arizona.
Yes.
You went all through school here, Xavier Prep School, and then of course we'll talk about your university training and your golf. But I understand that your grandfather, Earl Woods, which is your Uncle Tiger's father, was the one that gave you your first golf club and started teaching you the game. Tell us about that story.
Yeah, that's really the way I got into the sport. Was growing up, I would always visit my grandpa in Southern California, and he was just my grandpa. I didn't know anything about what he had done or Tiger, but the story that I'm told was that I was in his garage and I just picked up a set of clubs and started swinging, and it turned out to be an old set of Tiger's cut down clubs, and from then on my grandpa got me my own set of clubs. Neither of my parents played golf, so when we came back here to Phoenix, we would just go to a local park somewhere in town and just hit golf balls.
Yeah.
We didn't know that you could go to a driving range. Then later on, we would go to Cracker Jack's down the road, and I'd be there after school all night. And then I grew up actually playing here at Kierland Golf Club.
Oh, you did grow up right here?
Yeah, before all the hotel and everything was here, but my grandpa was definitely the biggest impact on my game. I love just sitting in the living room watching TV with him, watching Tiger play golf and hearing his stories, and I wish I had had more time with him to keep learning, but he was the biggest impact on my career.
Do you remember one or two things that he taught you or that he said to you that you remember every time you hold a golf club still to this day?
I think the biggest thing that I'll never forget is the belief that he had in me. I remember sitting in his kitchen, he was making me breakfast, and he told me that I would be on the LPGA Tour one day. And this was when I was 9 or 10 years old. And
did you believe that?
I knew I always wanted to be on tour, but the reality of it didn't really hit yet. I was still watching Tiger on TV, and it was almost like a fantasy life that I had.
So by the time you were 9 or 10 and you were thinking about being on tour, you were already an accomplished junior golfer.
Yeah, I played locally here in Phoenix, JJA Junior Golf Program. I started playing nationally around 10 years old. I had won a U.S. Kids Golf Tournament. So I just begun starting to play competitively like that, to where I knew I had talent and that I was able to really compete with these girls, no matter where they were from. So that was when I really started to get into it and build that love for it.
Well, you went to high school at Xavier Prep here in Phoenix, Arizona, and you played on the golf team, of course. And while there, help me out with my timing and what have you, you won 2, and I believe they were back-to-back state 5A championships.
I did, yes.
What about that experience?
It was awesome. I mean, going to Xavier, there's already so much history with the golf team. They have a whole roster of just unbelievable players who have been through the program, and Sister Lynn Windsor has been there for, I don't know, 35 years now. Seems like forever, but it was such a long tradition that they have with women's golf that it was good to be a part of, and I learned so much. I played behind Amanda Blumenhurst, who's another local phenomenon. So I learned a lot, and it really helped me develop as a player, not only with the academics and then with the golf too. It prepared me for college, so it was a great fit.
Well, we could talk about college because you went on to choose Wake Forest University. You became a Demon Deacon. What does it mean to be a Demon Deacon?
It's exciting, especially being from here in Phoenix. When I went to Wake, it was a huge change for me going to the East Coast. But it was good because coming from Phoenix, we're almost spoiled with the weather. I mean, if you look today, it's beautiful. The winters aren't bad. The summers you learn to deal with. But going to Winston-Salem, North Carolina was a shock for sure.
Is it because it's cold in the winter?
It's cold, and I didn't know what a winter coat was. I remember walking around in flip-flops for like the first year. So it was a shock, not only just dealing with the weather, but then just golf and playing different types of courses. And again, at Wake, there's such a tradition of golfers. You know, Mr. Palmer, the Haas family. So it's just really nice to be a part of. And then also I love basketball. So to be able to go to Wake Forest
you had
and
everything.
Watch the basketball was such a cool experience.
Well, you're 5'9", if I'm correct in your height, correct?
I wish I was,
Oh,
but
you're not?
the LPGA lied.
Did they lie to me?
They lied.
Why do they want you to be taller?
I don't know.
What are you,
I don't know.
5'6"?
I'm actually 5'6". So they
5'6".
So maybe they
got
saw
the
me-
number upside down,
They
didn't
must
they?
have seen me in heels.
Okay,
Yeah.
probably heels. They measured you in heels with a
Yeah.
laser. Okay, whatever. All right, so 5'6" is fine, but
Yep.
you still love basketball, and of course you're at Wake Forest that has great traditions in golf and basketball. So what was Wake Forest University like for you at the golf level? I hear that one day in your third year, you gave your coach fits by putting out some sort of a message out there that you were going to be leaving Wake Forest University.
You did
And
do your
she was
research.
driving around in a van and I guess just about fell over
She did.
and called your mama.
She did, yeah.
And what happened? Tell me the story.
So it was April Fool's. And
It was April Fool's
my
Day.
team and I were best friends, and we tried to come up with something we could pull on Coach. So what we came up with was I was going to construct this message and this almost statement that I was going pro and thank you for this and that, and I'm ready to move on. And we only put it on Facebook. We didn't tell anybody else, but you know, with social media, word gets around quick. So the next day we're at a tournament, other coaches and teams are congratulating me. And we're driving in the van on the way back from the course, and Coach gets a phone call. And her voice and her body language just sunk. You could tell something bad had happened. And we pull over, and she asked the team to get out except for me. And you could tell she's in a panic.
Did
and
you know what it was at that point?
I had an idea because our coach, you can read her face pretty easily. But she asked me if I was turning pro and that I needed to talk to her about this. And then that's when I said it was April Fool's, and I guess she had called my mom.
She had already
and
called your mom.
She had called my mom and asked about it, and my mom had no idea. So it was a big deal. It got through all of the athletic department, all the way down to Coach, and then to us. So it was good.
So you relieved her.
Yes.
She was able to, get back to normal. You finished out. Team got back in.
We'll be back with more match play right after these messages.
There is a place where reality exceeds your dreams, where time is not measured in days, hours, or minutes, but in smiles, new experiences, and new friends. A place where happiness is not a feeling, it's a way of life. Here, you're not just a visitor, you're family. There are many languages in the world, and our smile speaks them all.
Introducing the Putting Stroke Teacher Training Aid.
The putting stroke teacher helps the better player, the PGA Tour player, the pro that wants to get out on tour, because the first thing it's going to do is get these forearms lined up square and your shoulders lined up square. And that's the thing my dad and I worked on when I led the tour in putting, and it's the thing I'm constantly checking today to make sure that those are lined up. And that's going to really affect the path that the putter head swings on. Very easy to set up. You just take two pieces, stick them together, put it on the end of your putter, two little Velcro straps, and boom, you're in and you're ready to go. It's not big, it's very tiny. You can take it apart and stick it in your golf bag. Get the Putting Stroke Teacher and make more putts.
Order the Putting Stroke Teacher today. Golf. Yeah, you love it, but we all know just how frustrating it can be. That's unless you were born with a golf club in your hand. The Legacy Golf Performance Center is a virtual golfer's paradise designed to take your game to brand new heights. Yeah, that high. Our certified and friendly professional staff utilizes all state-of-the-art golf technologies to help get you swinging and putting just like a pro. You got that right. You're a golfer because you golf. Golfers carry a lot of stuff they need, like your rangefinder, your cell phone, your dog. Okay, maybe not your dog. What you need is a secure organizer. What you need is the range gripper. The range gripper grips, secures, and protects all your important golfing electronics. Now that's cool. The durable range gripper also comes in a variety of awesome colors. Grip, secure, and protect all your important golfing electronics with the range gripper. And now back to match play with your host, Ray Adams.
Tell me a little bit about, I know you won a couple of times at least, but you won the ACC championship, and that was a very big win, maybe your biggest win to date in your career at that point. What about that win?
That was amazing. It was my second win in college, and to win the ACC championship as an individual, to me, just meant so much, because at that point I don't think I was number one on the team, but I just was striving for that position and striving to be All-American, striving to get ready to turn pro. And, you know, my whole amateur career, I was never dominating like Tiger was. I never won by miles ahead.
You did win 30 amateur events.
I did actually, but in college, I still felt like I was fighting for every accomplishment.
Why do you feel like that? Was the competition so much greater at that level?
It was, and growing up, I wanted to be great. Especially growing up and watching Tiger Woods. You know, I wanted to be great as well, and so in college, I just was always striving for that greatness. And
were you putting pressure on yourself because your uncle
definitely
is so good and was at that time such an iconic, fabulous player where he destroyed the competition for years? Did you put the pressure on yourself?
I think at one point I did, and it wasn't necessarily pressure, but it was motivation.
Because your mom and dad didn't put that pressure on.
No.
Earl didn't do it, your grandfather, and I don't think Tiger did it.
Yeah, no, not at all. I think for me, seeing Tiger and what he's accomplished was always an inspiration and such a motivation to me to see what is possible. Because a lot of times growing up as a kid in whatever sport you're playing, you have those heroes, and they're almost like they're unreal. But for me, Tiger was real because I had that direct connection to him.
Yeah,
so family. So I saw what was possible, and so it was just such a motivation for me to then, every step of the way, what could I do to get there? And in college, for me, one of the steps was to win in college. One of the steps was to win ACCs. We played in a really difficult conference with Duke and Chapel Hill. They were always winning national championships. So I knew I was competing against some of the best in the nation. And so to win the ACC championship was a huge accomplishment for me and something I'm always proud of. And as a team, we won twice as well, so that was great. So
you got the ring?
I got the ring, yeah.
Well, 2012 graduation, is that right?
Yes.
And you did turn pro
I did.
At that point. And take me through a couple of the steps that you did. I know you won an event as a professional. I believe it was a smaller tour event. Take me through, that was your first professional win. What was that like?
Yeah.
And where was it?
So it was down in Florida. It was a Suncoast Tour event, and this was actually preparation for me going into Q school, LPGA qualifying. So I just graduated. I was figuring out the professional life of traveling and the money side of it. How am I going to finance myself? And I played, and I won that event. I think it was a few weeks before Q school.
How much did you win?
It was like $2,000 maybe.
$2,000?
Yeah. Which was a lot of money.
You
it
were
was
rich
really
at that
exciting.
point, right. So here you are, fresh out of school. By the way, finished Wake University with a communications degree. So we did finish the university. We got a great degree. And I believe that degree has suited you very, very well for your professional sports career, because you're very articulate, of course, and so many other things you can use that for. So you won the event, you had a few $1,000s in the pocket, and what did you decide to do at that point? Well, you were waiting to go to Q school, and what happened?
Yeah, so I was down in Florida for a few weeks, then went to Q school, and you know, that was, like I told you, it was a part of my plan of what I wanted to do, turn pro and play on the LPGA Tour. And going into Q school, I felt great, and unfortunately I didn't make it through, and it was really, really crushing. Because it was only first stage, and so without getting through, I didn't even have Symetra Tour status, didn't have LPGA status, and so I have a full year ahead of me. trying to figure out where am I going to play, how am I going to continue to grow as a player without a tour to play on. So that's when I decided to go to Europe.
So you joined the Ladies European Tour. And at that point, you became a full-blown member there. You had full status to play over in Europe. Now you didn't just move from Phoenix, the desert, to the colder climate of North Carolina across the country. You went ahead and moved across the entire Atlantic Ocean to a whole different world, stepping back in time a lot when you go to a lot of those famous historic places. What was it like to be over on the Ladies European Tour for you?
I absolutely loved it.
You did?
It was nothing that I ever thought I would do. It was nothing that was ever an option, I thought. But when I didn't make it to LPGA, I looked at my options, and the Ladies European Tour had such a strong tour, so many great players. And for me, it was the first time I really was able to travel the world.
Oh, yeah.
In my first year playing, I think I went to 12 or 13 different countries, and I had a decent season. You know, I kept my card, and I had so many great experiences of seeing the world, traveling as a professional golfer, learning to manage myself, and meet girls I had never met before, just from everywhere.
Well, you actually won on the Ladies European Tour as well.
Yes.
Your big win came down in Australia at the Volvic Ladies Masters. And tell us about that win in Australia. That was your first big win.
It was, and that is probably one of the most things I'm proud of in my career right now. Like I said, Ladies European Tour is a strong tour, and that Australian event was so special to me, to be able to go down and win. And to me, it went to show that you never know what can happen in golf. The week before, I had missed the cut. It was the start of the year, and so I went in and I was excited, and I ended up winning by, I think, 2 shots, and it was really exciting to be able to win at that level.
So, Ladies European Tour, you have the win, and probably a couple dollars more in your pocket.
Yeah.
So you are now not worried so much about money, plus sponsors, I'm sure, by that time coming along.
Yeah.
So then you decided to go back to Q School on the LPGA Tour here in America. And that was in 2000, and I think 13. 14 would have been your first year, is that correct?
Yes.
And what happened?
I think that was the year I had made it through.
We'll be back with more match play right after these messages.
Creating a revolutionary product starts by asking, what if? What if we loaded every inch with game-changing innovation? What if we had a flight tuning system to control ball flight, roll face and cup face technologies for explosive power, slipstream sole technology for more speed, and dual carbon tech with 8 adjustable loft settings? And what if all this technology and performance costs significantly less than the competition? Exotics EXS by Tour Edge. Pound for pound, nothing else comes close. Mother Nature provides the canvas. We help to make it a work of art. Brought to you by the members of the Golf Course Superintendents Association of America.
The Sights and Sounds of Golf, brought to you by Mother Nature and the members of the Golf Course Superintendents Association of America.
Introducing the Putting Stroke Teacher Training Aid.
The putting stroke teacher helps the better player, the PGA Tour player, the pro that wants to get out on tour, because the first thing it's going to do is get these forearms lined up square and your shoulders lined up square. And that's the thing my dad and I worked on when I led the tour in putting, and it's the thing I'm constantly checking today to make sure that those are lined up. And that's going to really affect the path that the putter head swings on. Very easy to set up. You just take 2 pieces, stick them together, put it on the end of your putter, 2 little Velcro straps, and boom, you're in and you're ready to go. It's not big, it's very tiny. You can take it apart and stick it in your golf bag. Get the Putting Stroke Teacher and make more putts.
Order the Putting Stroke Teacher today. And now back to match play with your host, Ray Adams.
You know, you told your Wake Forest University golf coach one time, I think right at the beginning of your career there, when they asked you about the strengths of your game, you said the strongest part of my game is my mental game.
Mm-hmm.
You did say that, didn't you?
I did.
Is that still the strongest part of your game, or have you brought some other levels of your game up to that level?
I would say I still like to say my mental side is pretty strong. It can improve though.
Is it true that there's a story that I heard about you, Cheyenne? Is it true that at a very important event, you have to fill in the blanks, but at a very important event, Cheyenne had an 80-foot putt for birdie, and she left it 15 feet short. And without blinking an eye, without hardly any time taken, she walked up behind it and dropped in that par putt. Tell me about that event. Have I got it sort of right?
Yeah, that's very correct. That was at the ACC Championship.
That was at the ACC.
The final round, and I believe it was hole 15, where I was leading coming down the stretch, and I tried to give it away by having some pretty bad shots. But 15-footer for par, kept the momentum going, and I was able to win. So
when you won the ACC, and then when you won in Australia on the Ladies European Tour, how have you taken those wins, which were major wins in your different eras there? How have you brought that over, and when you get in position here, do you think about that, or is it something that's just so ingrained in you, it's automatically there?
I think some of those are just memories you put in the bank, and they're what you can use to fall back on when you're in those situations again, of building that confidence and regaining that focus of coming down the stretch. And I've been here before. I just need to trust myself, be patient, and keep doing what I'm doing. And so when you've been in those situations before, you know what to do. You kind of know the feelings that you have, the butterflies, the nerves, the adrenaline that you sometimes need to control. So I think that those experiences are something you can just fall back on and use as even more experience to keep making those memories.
If you're going to pick a place to win on the LPGA Tour this year, where would it be?
Oh, my ultimate goal is to win a U.S. Open.
Of course it is. The most difficult tournament on the planet to win.
To win a U.S. Open, but also I think winning at home is really special. And so I would love to be able to win the Founders Cup.
Founders Cup every March here in the Phoenix area. Of course, a wonderful, wonderful golf tournament. My friend Marilyn Smith, one of the founders, and of course she'll be there again, and that'll be coming up very, very soon. Outside of golf, what do you love to do? What is your passion, Cheyenne?
Oh, it's hard. I'm a true Arizona girl. I love going hiking.
Really? Where's your favorite hike?
My favorite hike is actually Piestewa Peak.
And do not go there and hang out every day waiting to see her come by.
Don't stalk me.
And I don't want to tell them what your favorite Mexican food restaurant in town is either, because when you go there, she's going to be ordering either the cheese crisp or the fajitas. And I can't tell you where that is either, can we?
It's right down the street.
Yeah, but we can't tell you where it is because we know you'll go there and wait for her because you're in there a lot.
I am, So I love to hike. I really love to cook.
Oh, do you? Me too.
I love to bake. So I'm not a great cook, but
so
I like to bake.
You're the baker.
Which is really bad because, like the other night, I made cookies and I had to give them to my mom.
You can't
instantly
you can't eat them
because
you're on a special.
I'll eat them
Yeah, you're on a special diet. We can tell.
Yeah.
So Cheyenne, I have to ask you.
Okay.
And everybody's going to want me to ask you this one.
Okay.
You have been featured in the magazine layout, The Most Beautiful Women in Golf, and if I've got it right, more than once. How is that experience? And tell me, does being truly a beautiful woman in golf, inside and outside, by the way, does that help you along the way, or does it bring too much attention to where you'd really rather just focus quietly on your game? What about that?
I enjoy experiences like that. I think it's nice as an athlete to be able to show that other side of yourself. Especially as a woman, we're so multidimensional of not only being athletes and being competitors, but we're women and we have that other side of us that is more than the golfer. And I think that those articles are really special to be able to showcase these female golfers as women and not just us with our hats on and hitting the drives 280 yards down the fairway, but to show us as people. So like you said, beautiful inside and out, and there's so many beautiful women in the sport of golf, so it's really special for me to be a part of it.
That's true, and many of them have been right here on
Yeah.
this show. I know that Gary Player, I had to ask him because he appeared in The Body Issue,
Yeah, he did.
which very tastefully so, but it was a nude pictorial.
Yeah.
Have they approached you about that one yet?
Not yet. Yeah.
What would you
not
say
yet.
if they asked you to do it?
I would probably do it.
Really?
Yeah, I think the body issue.
Yay!
Oh my gosh. I think the body issue is nice because, again, it showcases athletes as athletes naked.
It does. It does. It shows you. It shows the incredible amount of work that it takes
Yeah.
to maintain the physique
Yeah.
in order to be able to be a professional athlete
Yeah.
at that level. And
Yes.
I know Gary Player talked about it. Sandra Gale talked about it. Several of them have talked
Yeah.
about it with me. So I think that's great. And I have to ask you also, when you're not playing golf, you love to cook.
Yeah.
You love to go hiking.
Yeah.
And do you have anything secret that you love to do that we can find out about it? But we're not going to tell anybody. It's just
Nobody.
between you
It's
and
just
I.
a secret.
It's just us
Well,
here.
it's funny. Tonight, I actually, I do hip hop dance classes.
You do hip hop dance, and you do the classes with a teacher,
Yeah.
and then do you go out hip hop dancing
hip hop dancing.
with friends?
I love to dance.
Okay, cool.
And I actually grew up, I danced competitively when I was young.
Oh, all right.
But recently I just got back into it. It's just for fun. It's a class that's once a week, and every week is a different song. And so
What are you
it's
going to dance to tonight?
It's called Tatiana.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
So where can we catch you in the hip hop moves?
Maybe I'll post it on Instagram one day.
That would be great. That
But
would
right
be
now
awesome.
it's just for me.
So it's just something you love to do.
Yeah.
Well, and it's something else that's athletic too, because
Yeah, I
it's
love
movement
it.
and motion.
Exactly.
All right, very good. Cheyenne Woods, thank you so
Thank
much for being
you.
with me today.
Thank
It is
you.
such a joy to meet you and talk with you. Isn't she great, folks? And all the ladies on the LPGA Tour. I've said it before, I said it on the radio show. You heard me say this yesterday when you were on with Jill Strite, and I truly enjoy watching the ladies on the LPGA Tour and on all the professional ladies tours around the world play golf. And one of the main reasons is because I feel that I can see the swing better with you than with the guys on the PGA Tour. They are so powerful, they are so fast, and yet you play such graceful golf. You play power golf too and hit the ball a country mile as well. I feel like it's somehow or other a little bit slower, so I can see it.
Right.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's true. And I hear that a lot of times when we play in pro-ams and you see people, golf fans who watch both men and women, they always say the women, they can take a lot more from us. And again, the swing speeds are a little bit slower, so it is easier to see exactly what we're doing. And I think for the everyday golfer, it's a little bit more relatable. I don't think the average golfer is going out there and swinging 125 miles per hour. And I think we go to show that tempo and just consistency is all you really need in golf.
I'm thinking of holding my golf club right now, and I'm noticing that you have the beautiful long fingernails. Do they get in your way when you're playing on tour? Or do you not even know they're there anymore?
They don't get in the way until they get too long.
Ah.
And that's when I know I need to go back and trim them down.
Okay, so after 3 or 4 inches, you probably need it.
Yeah.
Cheyenne Woods, thank you so
Thank
much for
you.
being with me on Match Play. It has been a sheer joy. Isn't she great?
Thank
I
you.
really, really thoroughly enjoyed being with you today. And thank you so much for all you're giving back to the kids out there, the growth of women in golf all over the world, and for your personality and your professionalism, and for your appearance here today at the Women's Golf Expo. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Creating a revolutionary product starts by asking, what if? What if we loaded every inch with game-changing innovation? What if we had a flight tuning system to control ball flight, roll face and cup face technologies for explosive power, slipstream sole technology for more speed, and dual carbon tech with 8 adjustable loft settings? And what if all this technology and performance costs significantly less than the competition? Exotics EXS by Tour Edge. Pound for pound, nothing else comes close.
Golf. Yeah, you love it. But we all know just how frustrating it can be. That's unless you were born with a golf club in your hand. The Legacy Golf Performance Center is a virtual golfer's paradise designed to take your game to brand new heights. Yeah, that high. Our certified and friendly professional staff utilizes all state-of-the-art golf technologies to help get you swinging and putting just like a pro. You got that right.